don't slow the audio down. They like they do slow it down, but they don't. It doesn't. It's not.
Have you ever heard us slow down? We sound if you slow down any podcast, people sound drunk. Like, listen to this. This is great. This is us.
Can you imagine doing a minute podcast to close 2001 Space Odyssey?
Oh my god.
Because there's just minutes to go by.
There are tens of minutes that go by without dialogue.
I love
Megatron must be stopped, no matter the cost.
The Autopod Decepticast is recorded in front of a live studio audience.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Autopod Decepticast. This is your weekly podcast delivering a minute-by-minute breakdown of the 1986 Transformers movie. Today, that was a mouthful, sorry. I'm just nervous.
It always is.
Today we're covering episode 23. That's minute 2201 to the 23-minute mark. This is your host, Aaron, and I'm here with my environmentally friendly, solar-powered co-hosts.
I'm Ryan.
Hi, I'm Caleb.
So in this world where sustainability is such a hot button, especially for millennials and Gen Zs, what can Transformers do to
We're
leave
dropping
this
the
world
millennial.
in
I think
better
if you would
place?
like to sustain this friendship, you won't don't ask questions like that.
Well, listen, they had a wind farm. They had hydroelectric plants. I mean, that's all gone now, but
But it was just for them.
you don't know.
We'll move on.
No, that was great.
This is the worst intro ever. So we're doing something a little different today.
Mm-hmm.
Something a little fun. Try and mix it up a little bit. So
We thought we'd do something fun instead of what we've been doing.
yeah, that's right. That's right. And so we have an extra special guest here in the Ark today. He's a contest winner. APDC, you get a contest winner.
A non-announced, non-existent contest.
And as a result, we have joining us for the next perhaps 2 episodes is CUBAN B from Wyoming.
CUBAN B from Laramie.
Woo!
Apparently this pen is my penis.
Oh, making quite an impression already.
Right away.
I just flew in from Wyoming. And boy, my penis is tired.
I don't know if you know what kind of podcast this is.
I think he knows
I
exactly
think he
what
knows.
kind it is.
I think him and Ryan are going to be best friends.
Oh, that's right.
We're going to do a spin-off.
He's the straight man.
So we also have a studio audience today.
Yeah. They're...
We need an applause sign.
That's right.
That's when we're going to pipe in like a huge crowd. Like,
A Hollywood Bowl.
yeah.
All right, so thank you guys for being here. And thank you, listener, for listening. Hopefully this is
And if you're
good
still with
adventure.
us...
This has already been too long. So last episode, we're in the heat of Prime and Megatron's battle. There's some lightsaber slashing, some sun silhouette action, some robot body smashing.
Oh, boy. How long did you work on this?
And by the end of the sequence, we've basically got Prime. He's got the edge. He's got a rifle pointed at Megatron. And then your best friend, Caleb, Hot Rod, jumps into frame.
Hate Hot Rod.
And to stop Megatron from grabbing a pistol hidden by some of the rubble here. So that's where we've opened it up, and essentially, almost immediately, Hot Rod is overpowered.
Yeah, it's not...
right
he's
away.
not good at things.
He jumped right into that arm lock.
And the hold that it has on... There we go, right at the 2202, Megatron keeps hammering that wound that he made with the lightsaber with a blast from that pistol. And fall.
So he's firing at Prime. Do you guys notice anything weird about this sequence at all? I'll let it play out. All right, so anything weird about that sequence?
2208 is where we've paused.
Yeah,
Right,
where
literally
Megatron
right here?
fires at Prime 3 times. Twice hits in the gut. Once in the chest.
Play it again.
All right, I'm gonna play it again. Here
Wouldn't it be funny if he didn't notice anything? And he's just doing this to us.
It's a rhetorical question.
Okay, so the laser color changed.
That's right.
Ah.
I got it.
Caleb got one, everybody. I didn't notice it.
Did you read my notes? Did you cheat?
Nope. I did that all by myself.
Yeah, it changes to an. Traditionally, the Decepticons have purple lasers and the Autobots have orange.
But this is like, is this orange or yellow or something?
I mean, I'm mildly colorblind.
So, I mean, really
Yeah.
what this means
Haven't
is
you
an
ever seen
Autobot from
the way
the
I dress?
side just fired on Optimus
I just thought
Prime.
you had bad taste.
Well,
Sorry.
It's
It's
like
a little of both.
There's a secret Autobot on a metallic grassy knoll, metallic knoll.
Okay, so it changed colors, which is odd.
It's just a color error. But
well, there's no more of that in
note.
the movie.
God.
this movie is perfect.
I do not understand really what these holes in Prime's boots are at 2209.
I'm glad you asked. 'Cause
Okay.
I just have my note here for the show.
Which is 100% more notes than
so
Caleb
excited.
has.
Yeah, take it away, Cuban.
I literally did have.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're talking about these transform. I mean, you guys have probably posited what these things weigh.
Like,
Weight. I mean, these things probably
Tonnage.
tons and tons.
yeah, right.
I would think at least Optimus probably weighs
Never
a couple
really
tons.
talked about it.
And they're
but yeah.
quite agile.
Yeah.
And so my question was, wouldn't either their momentum move them further or more from being such a weighty object, or are there rockets to counteract the what? So is this on the bottom? I mean, obviously, so that you can possession them on their action
you can.
stand.
That's right.
But
They didn't even have that.
Nope.
dang, wrong show again. I mean, but no, it's my thought is there's got to be something to help them propel so
I see.
rapidly back.
So
into
there's little
action.
mini rockets that basically help him move.
Well, that's interesting that you just say that too. Also, yes, that is because their momentum, right? It would be difficult to arrest when you're already in motion, and they do move very fluidly. And then also, I was while watching this, was thinking about how much damage that is done to them, and I think it's because they're so heavy that like even Optimus throwing Megatron is pretty. I mean, that's gonna fuck you up if you weigh 2 tons.
Well, this is in space. Maybe the gravity is not.
Is gravity less on Cybertron than it is
It
on
is
Earth?
much smaller than Earth from all visual.
When I went to Cybertron preparing for this show.
Wow, you did a lot of research.
Boy, are my arms tired.
Maybe. Can you answer the question of where Cybertron is? Because depending on what script you have, it's either like within sight of Earth or
It's actually just closer than the moon. I'm not allowed to tell, actually.
second star of the right and straight on till morning.
Yep, that's right.
so
me
we
and
didn't
Pam-
answer the question about these holes at all, did we?
Nah.
Okay.
I just think it's a weird animation thing.
Listener, tell us what you think the holes at the bottom of Prime's feet are for.
I don't
Fucking?
think it's like on the toy. No.
No,
Those are-
no, it's not. This is never seen before or again.
It's an awkward picture. Anyway, okay. So moving on then.
Put your weed in there.
Prime takes 3 shots, and Megatron just throws Hot Rod to the side like a rag doll.
Yeah,
Flings them.
really, just like it's pretty pathetic.
If, as we talked about last week,
He throws Hot Rod away just like an old bag of moldy tangerines.
so
You
last
want
week
me-
we said that nope,
It's from UHF.
sorry.
He threw me away like an old bag of moldy tangerines.
I'm glad you felt like you just had to get that in there.
It's in my notes.
Okay. At any rate, last week we said that maybe we were trying to question his Megatron's motives. Is he trying to get into the city to just kill everybody, but why didn't he just kill Hot Rod? He could have just blown Hot Rod's head right off and then
all
tossed him
about
aside.
Prime.
True. There is.
But it's all about Prime.
I have points of this on the script deviations.
Uh-oh, cool, interesting. Okay, so
God, watching Prime.
Yes,
like
shudder.
tremble and shudder, trying to stand
It's
up.
rough. I 100% every time I watch this by myself, I'm crying.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
really?
I mean, but mostly because of the major depression. So
By yourself.
it's it's just a trigger.
So Megatron steps forward to Prime, basically at point blank range, and gives a little speech. Ryan, you wanna?
I would have waited an eternity for this. It's over, Prime.
Terrible, Frank Welker.
They get worse and worse.
Yeah. It's cracked
He's
and
got a cracked lens on his
Yep.
optics.
Optics, yeah.
Yep, he is messed up. I always liked this illustration is so iconic to me. I remember it.
And we talked about this, I think, the last episode. They show this in the the trailer for the movie, which is like real, like, well, it's a lot of weird spoilers in those trailers.
Will Prime die? Right? So he gives a speech, and Prime does kind of a double close-fisted wallop thing, says never.
And it's all hand-drawn animation.
That was a nice
swing around, yeah.
The background is hand-drawn. This is the preceding sequence around 2:29 after the hit is kind of awkwardly drawn piece of work here. But essentially, Megatron knocked off a cliff, hits a couple levels on the way down.
Jacks him up.
Yeah. Well, again, that's like the whole thing I was thinking when I watched this this morning. I was thinking, like, gosh, yeah, it is really just blunt. It's all blunt force trauma. And if you look at it, I think really Prime takes a lot more damage than Megatron does. Like,
Absolutely.
Megatron's not shot at all. Prime is shot 3 times.
Yeah, and hit with a
Laser.
shard.
Yep.
And the laser
Yep.
sword thing.
Yeah.
Megatron had plenty of time to pull that trigger. Like, he could have just shot Prime.
Well, he wanted to have his moment. Like, he wanted to gloat.
But even after the gloat, you still had a solid, 5 seconds of Prime.
Where Prime is definitely winding up.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. I thought about that even as a kid.
Why wouldn't Megatron just transform into his own gun to shoot?
Because he can't hover. He always has to have somebody fire him, so he'd just be like shooting at his ankles.
Spinning around and around
Yes.
like Mo or Shemp.
Yeah,
I'm beginning to
think
think
it was
that
Curly, by the way.
he's not the negotiating genius I thought he was.
So, okay, this scene here at about 22:36 where Prime kind of starts to get up, but then he falls down.
That's rough.
Pretty amazing. And this whole sequence here is illustrated pretty well, too. Hot Rod comes up to Prime to kind of apologize, comfort him, and you see how beat up he is.
Yeah, 22:41 is what we're looking at in the Prime. He said, Hot Rod says, "Forgive me." Where I'm like, hey, is your ego really what's important right now?
Do you think if Prime was in better condition at this point, he would have
backhanded him,
killed Hot Rod?
No, because
strangled him.
Megatron did this.
Condition, though. I do have another question about Transformers and physics, I guess. But can they ever improve their strength or dexterity or agility? Like, can a Transformer go to the gym?
Can they upgrade?
Yeah,
they can't. I mean, but it does. It's not. You can't really exercise or anything. But I mean, they do get upgraded, so to speak. I mean, like I said earlier, Orion Pax becomes Optimus Prime, who is a battle form, and then later in the series, Bumblebee becomes Goldbug.
Well, just because Prime
we'll see some upgrades in this movie, as a matter of fact,
That's
to more metaphysical needs.
Although that's true.
But to your point,
that makes for good Transformers.
Are you saying something can be done to help Optimus in this situation?
Well, no. Why? I mean, he did get shot and messed up pretty bad, but if he's the leader, why isn't he more prepared to take on a battle from your sworn enemy?
Well, he was thrown into this. I mean, they called for reinforcements, and they brought 5. So yeah, I mean, they presumably you would think they have a better medical bay. We'll see that I think in the next episode. Yep. But yeah, I mean, it is weird of why Prime dies, quote unquote, because they are robots, so one would imagine that you could repair them. But I mean, even in the comic, there is some parts of this was a Spider-Man crossover I'm thinking of, where I think it's Gears or somebody falls off and literally breaks into pieces, and they
design.
they put him back together, and they gather him, and Spider-Man is thinking why are they so cold about this? They don't even seem to care. When in reality, they're like, well, we can just put him back together and he'll be fine. And we see again later that exact same thing happening with spoiler Ultra Magnus.
Yeah, it's they pick and choose. I mean, it's all about the drama.
Yeah, it's really more story than.
No, and they do a great job of it. What are my notes here? You've got a
Yes.
they call it a compelling protagonist, I think is what my notes say.
Wow,
Hero's journey.
Someone's dropping some jargon.
Joseph Campbell.
Anybody?
I read about 7 books to get ready for this.
I do that.
And this, what we're looking at, Megatron Spark on the ground at 22:44. This is Starscream's wet dream, right? This is his moment.
Yeah, so you see Starscream. I believe that is Hook and Soundwave surrounding Megatron. Starscream comes up, gives a little speech as well. Do you have a Megatron or a Starscream voice?
I can try.
How do you feel, mighty Megatron?
That wasn't bad. Why are you cringing, Caleb?
He just hates it when I do voices.
It's better than mine.
Is it? Let's see.
It is.
How do you feel, mighty Megatron?
Yes.
You'll get to this in script deviations, but it was really supposed to be. How do you feel, Megatron?
Yeah.
So he kicks him,
And then
calls for Astrotrain to come and pick him up.
Where did you come from? Astrotrain?
Yeah,
Just showing up?
Yeah, well, he's not showing
He's
up
not
yet,
there
but we're
yet.
at the end of the minute.
That's right.
And as the minute starts to end, Megatron says to Soundwave, like, "Don't leave me," and then it ends.
Yeah,
That's it.
And this is the thing, like, don't leave me, Soundwave. That part, even as a kid, struck me as really depressing because I'm like, wow. Even like his most trusted ally, Soundwave, he has to kind of basically just ask him, hey, maybe don't leave me here. Take me with you.
I will jump in because you can edit this out. Speaking of depressing, I was in Branson, Missouri yesterday.
End of sentence.
It could easily be my birthday, as you know, was
right,
yesterday.
Yeah, happy belated.
Thank you.
Congratulations on this contest win and happy birthday.
I know. Well,
God, it's all coming up Millhouse.
I was just saying, here's where it starts to be a fail.
Okay.
I'm morbidly obese, as the audiences at home the listeners can hear.
Yeah, we can hear how fat.
It's all we can do to have you fit here in the studio.
In the arc.
Tell you about Branson, Missouri. I almost got excluded from participating in a activity with my daughter because of my weight.
Oh no.
And
Like what activity was that?
well, let's not put
Go-karts?
him on blast.
It
Much
was
like
Jello
Prime
wrestling.
was put on blast. See how I brought it back in there.
Worked it all in.
Transform. My dignity transformed that day.
Yesterday.
Into not dignity.
Yesterday. And yeah, I didn't share this with you because I would have been a little disappointed drinking till 5 a.m. Oh shit, that happened too. No, and so
Is this the part where we talk about Ryan getting naked last night on Wax?
For a long time. I had 70 drinks.
70 is by dinner.
Yeah, it was. I mean, mistakes were made. I got some nude. I've asked everybody, like, everybody's like, yes, it was weird. No, it wasn't necessarily threatening and aggressive, but
Well, so we all drown our sorrows. Yesterday.
Sure.
I drown mine in saturated fat, but
Yeah.
we all.
mine's just
And
alcohol
booze.
because of the chronic depression.
So, guys, I don't have any... I have a little bit of voice actor stuff, but it's not anybody new. It's essentially some kind of choice tidbits I picked up about Welker and Cullen working together. So, Welker on Cullen, this is an interview I found on Collider. And essentially, Welker said that he loves working with Peter Cullen. Peter makes me smile the moment he comes through the door. He is the real deal. Talented, big-hearted, with a fabulous basement wall echoing laugh. That's all I got there.
All right.
Oh, that's very nice.
Yeah.
They've been friends for eons, he says. They don't see each other a lot outside work, but they appreciate the time that they do spend together, which actually you can find lots of video of them at cons
Yes,
doing
together
panels.
on panels.
And they are great together. Like, it's interesting. Like, you'd think that they're basically recording in isolation, but they have developed a
So
real...
that's Welker talking about Cullen or Cullen talking about Welker.
Well,
That-
we're talking about Cullen.
It'd be funny if Cullen was like, "Yeah, I fucking hate that guy."
A little bit more about
He's always
Welker.
checking his caller ID and just like
God
shaking his head.
damn it, Frank.
Much like me winning this contest. Am I right, guys?
Did I say- Why did we do this contest again?
Yeah,
We did. I mean,
Let's
you.
not do it
You
anymore.
did receive 1 million entries.
Yeah. So we had to comb through all of those videos that everybody
My
sent
wrist was very sore sending them in, by the way. Sorry.
Some of you guys sent masturbation videos.
in. That was
which
just
is-
me.
Oh, you entered your own contest?
Yeah, no, I did. I did a bunch of fake accounts, and I was like, just because I can't come unless I feel someone's uncomfortable.
It's RyanIsHappy.com. Like all these false personas that he tries to convince himself that it's worth keeping on.
That's right. That's what I'm living for.
So, Welker
checks his calling.
Who is like, please don't mention me in the same sentence as a jerk-off joke.
It wasn't a joke. So, from an interview I found on a YouTube channel called The Dorkening, there was some interesting stuff that Frank Welker talked about the audition process. I don't know if this is how it is typically, but so he basically met with the voice director, Wally Burr, R.I.P., who he knew from working on lots of other shows. And essentially, he goes into the audition room, and there's a long table set up, and it has just all the characters, pictures, and little bios spread out. And he basically said, the Wally Burr told Frank Welker, pick 3, and Frank Welker ended up grabbing like 9 of them. But he grabbed Megatron because he was like really excited to do like the big evil bad guy because
you want to try
in
for that.
Well, in his career also, he just always, you've heard his voice reels, like he does these little cutesy characters a lot.
Yeah.
And so he wanted to do something with a little more edge.
It's what makes for a more compelling good guy, though, right? Is to be balanced by this dynamic over-the-top.
Yeah, and
bad
that
guy.
kind of actually dovetails a little bit. Not to cut you off if you had more to
Nope.
talk about that. Okay. Well, I was just thinking. We mentioned this a little bit last night, but I watched some episodes of cartoons that I hadn't seen since I was a kid, and subjected Wes to watching some of them as well, and they were not good. Like we watched a Mask episode, which she does not remember. I may have made that up. And then we watched an episode of Cops fighting crime in a future time.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that was a good show.
I did like that show.
Big Boss.
Yeah. Big Boss, I have a weasel for some reason.
What was the chief's name?
Weasels
Bulletproof.
Weasels are the only source of protein in that future time, so he was king of the land.
That's right.
You guys, speaking of Chiefs, you guys should have watched Carmen Sandiego as well. I added that to there.
That was a great.
Listen up, gumshoes.
She was in Warriors.
Hey,
she did all the radio broadcasts for
the DJ?
the Warriors. Yeah,
She was a DJ on Warriors.
But like, how was she up on where these crimes were going down? And so, I mean, not the age that we have where we can, reproduce something in an instant. She orchestrated the whole thing.
She was. I liked it because she was kind of a narrator for the movie in a way.
And she's sultry and like,
it's
listen up, gumshoes.
Yeah.
Oh wait, wrong show.
Yeah.
So and also
Getting sexy with those kids.
Dino Riders was another one that I watched, and I'm like, there were 2 episodes in a row where we talk about that. Where I was just wondering why, like, Dino Riders, for those who don't know, was a show about aliens who presumably crash on Earth. I don't really remember, but they're dinosaurs, so it must have been. And they used dinosaurs to fight each other. And I'm like, why didn't that take off like Transformers? Or Mask was pretty big, but like it's not. I mean, maybe I'm just not in those circles, but you don't really hear about it anymore in the same way of like Transformers and G.I. Joe. And it's like I was watching them, and I think the difference is like the Mask was very much like, hey, look at all this cool tech, as opposed to like being character driven, which the Transformers are cool tech, but they're also, you've mentioned this before, Aaron, that they have the personalities that they do, and that's the interesting part, is that's what people are drawn to.
When they're really human centric with Mask, I mean, it was about,
yeah.
But I was actually doing some prep work before the show, like I do.
Like you do,
like
always
a method.
Does it say in your notes, mention that I did prep work for the show 18 times?
Well, no, I'm a method contest winner. So I actually, not only do I have a lifetime supply of tampons, I am now on the 4th biggest podcast to come out of this basement.
Hell yeah.
No, I was talking to Tom DeLonge. Aaron loves this because he's like a Blink 182 fan. Is there any other Tom DeLonge?
You said you were going to work this in.
I don't think
It's so terrible.
It is labored.
I was trying to pull it off because it is so terrible, but I can't. Well, it was either that or talk about role playing with Mask, but then I was gonna work it in. It was more the Cher and Eric Stoltz Mask.
Oh,
Yes. With Sam Elliott.
Felt like that might have been
Yeah.
too forced as well. No, I only tried to do the Tom DeLonge thing because it really made Aaron cringe this morning.
So you were trying to connect Tom DeLonge because of his alien conspiracy?
Well, he brought up Dino Riders, and I thought, if this is how aliens... The point was that Tom DeLonge says Transformers really did come to Earth, as Cab over semi trucks and whatnot to socialize young people into accepting their existence and their being on planet Earth. And after a few generations, the Transformers aliens would reveal themselves and of course take over.
I see.
There was more to it than that, but it really was so labored.
I'm sorry that I didn't.
This is not the first conspiracy theory brought up on this show.
I don't know what you mean.
So, guess what, guys?
Yep.
You know what it's time for.
Oh, please tell me it's time.
You know what it's time for.
Tell me it's time.
Script deviations.
Script deviations. We need a lady out.
Ow!
They're in pain just being here.
See, we know women.
We did throw a tampon joke in there for him, am I
Yeah,
right?
and nothing. No,
Edit the hell out of that,
I've
please.
never
Do
met a
not
woman
Put that in there.
who doesn't love a tampon joke.
So,
What's the
right.
matter? Are you bleeding?
Pats Caleb on the leg.
He did. It's weird.
I mean, I guess we did leave it. I mean, those pedophile jokes last week were solid, though.
2 weeks
Kitty
ago.
Fiddler.
Because Kitty Fiddler was
Yeah.
pretty great. We need to bring
Thanks,
that back.
Caleb.
Yeah, I mean, I turned
Well,
that around for us.
Welcome, children. Everybody come around. I've got a tiny violin we can play.
They talked about a kitty fiddler, and I went to thinking it was a person that makes violins for children.
And he doesn't understand why people won't
It's like the name
invite
of
him.
his business.
Oh, like Kitty Diddler, which is a
Well,
whole other
that's-
line of products.
That's like Bo Diddley's kid.
Yeah.
Kid Diddley.
Kid Diddley.
Catherine's her name. They call her Kitty for short. Because imagine Catherine Diddley. Who would ever do such a thing?
Kitty Diddley.
Okay.
All right.
It's like Oakley Dokley.
What you got, Jet?
Okay, so there are some differences in here. No, I mean, they're not huge ones. The biggest one is that Prime, whenever he's fighting Megatron, at no point gets his rifle. Basically, he doesn't have it even after Optimus, even after Megatron's on the ground, he doesn't have the gun. So, whenever Hot Rod jumps in, Hot Rod grabs the blaster, Megatron quickly gets Hot Rod in a headlock like a bitch, and Megatron says, "Stand back, Prime, or your lackey becomes dust," which is a pretty good line. Because he doesn't basically just have him in a headlock. He has him in a headlock, and he points the gun at Hot Rod's midsection.
Okay.
So he's using him as a hostage as opposed to a shield in the original script. And then Hot Rod's struggling, says, "Prime, forget about me, terminate him." And then Megatron says, "Bravery, you all flaunt your bravery." And as he says this, he hurls Hot Rod at Optimus Prime, which I would have loved to see.
I would have loved to see that too.
And Blast
Rod
Prime,
just been like,
heavens, and Blast Prime in the wound that he has already made with his laser dagger. And then on Optimus Prime, as he reacts, his midsection now glowing and smoking, a huge hole where the blaster is struck. Hot Rod regains his feet, and this is where Hot Rod says it's all my fault. But then Megatron's still there, aiming the blaster, and that's where he says, "Fall, you scrap heap, fall," which is the line in the...
I think it'd be cool if he would thrown Hot Rod so hard at Optimus.
It went through his side?
That's what would have...
Like it wedged
Yes.
into the hole in his gut.
That's what would have like mortally injured Optimus.
Mm-hmm, that's...
So not only is like he's on many levels the reason for Optimus's death.
we need to make the movie that you want to see.
I do.
And then Optimus, it's the same thing where the line in the script is, "I should have known you'd be treacherous to the last," and that's whenever he swings up and hits him. And then Hot Rod, "Forgive me, Optimus," and Cup actually at this point comes in and says, "It wasn't your doing, lad. It was Megatron." And then he falls. And basically, then Starscream, this is literally the same in the script. "How do you feel, Mighty Megatron?" Although there's a tag of like, "You look dreadful," which is, I mean, it's on.
Woke up on the wrong side of the bed, Mighty Megatron!
God,
Look at the cowlick.
can't stand it.
And then Megatron, this is the first mention of this. So Megatron weakly clutches at Starscream and says, "The wound is mortal. My life spark hungers for infinite peace, which is the mention of the life spark. Which is something that is in the script and doesn't come in until much later iterations of the Transformers, if I'm not mistaken. You basically in the comic, but it's never really in the cartoon. I don't think it's
in the comic, the original Marvel either.
No,
it
not
showed
the
up
original
until
IDW. And
maybe.
And it is in Beast Wars as well.
Oh, okay, that's probably where it showed up. The idea of spark as like an essence, life essence, soul.
Why do they have labored breathing?
That is weird, right? Because they don't have lungs.
Right, and there's not like this, it's not passing. I mean, it's just a robotic...
Maybe they do have a robotic respiratory system.
And then, why would they? And then Starscream drops Megatron's hand coldly, calls to other Decepticons, Megatron approaches ultimate termination. I'll just read it. Megatron approaches ultimate termination. We shall take him to Cybertron, and there determine which of us shall rule in his stead. And that's where Astrotrain transforms.
They speak so like
Again, this is a first draft, so I forgive it. Yeah, I think it
Apparently.
really is. I can forget. And first drafts are terrible because you're just trying to get down. There's a point that I guess I am mentioning it in here where he repeats the word strength twice in one sentence, and that's dumb.
It's written like vaudeville.
It is very theatrical.
classical,
Yeah. And then that's basically the end of our minute.
So the couple that I have for my version of the script. After Megatron tosses Hot Rod to the side and approaches Prime and does his whole would have waited eternity for this, he also says to Optimus Prime, "Crawl, slave, on your knees." I thought that was an interesting one.
Yeah.
Also, I just like the script description of the reaction to the Prime's double-fisted hit to Megatron. It says that he bashes in Megatron's torso casing, fracturing the sides, which split, spilling wires, fuses, lights, and circuitry. So I thought that was interesting. And then just to build the additional dialogue when Megatron was at the bottom of the cliff and the Decepticon Starscream is around. So in their version, Megatron and Starscream are kind of hanging out a little bit down there.
Yeah.
But Megatron at one point said, while clutching Starscream's hand, says it didn't have all the stuff that you said, but it did have this. It says, "Enshrine me."
Enshrine?
Oh yes, that comes up later actually.
It's just but so obviously he knows he's gonna die from that statement, but
Oh my
obviously
God,
in yours he
I cannot
definitely knew.
wait until we get to it because it's so fucking weird in the script. It's
This
so weird.
whole thing is just one big wiener measuring contest between Prime and Megatron. Then
How so?
this egos enshrine me, and then it's
Well,
just this whole-
sure.
no.
Yeah, sure.
The enshrine me thing actually comes up later. He's talking about his spark because they, just a little bit of a peek ahead. They go to Cybertron, and basically the idea is that the leaders of the Decepticons their spark becomes enshrined in a statue to them. It's fucking strange. It's a real weird, kind of cool thing.
It's just weird in my version of the script that it would have that line, but none of the other detail of yours. Anything else, guys?
One of our most interactive guy we talk about on almost every episode.
He's gonna be so mad he didn't win this contest.
Sorry, Ernie.
Ernie Sexton, he's very active on our Facebook, and he posted, was it episode 19 or 20 where we talked about the double A side, the You Got the Touch, and Dare to Be Stupid.
on the other.
45.
Yes, he has an actual copy of
A
it.
promotional copy.
And it was just really cool to see. I was really happy to see that.
There's your circle back to UHF. Dare to Be Stupid.
Yeah.
Oh, big shout out, by the way, to Weird Al, who just had his bathroom in his college dorm enshrined with where he recorded his first album. So,
Really?
Oh, wow.
for Big Al, well, that's a
Was
restaurant.
he like, enshrine me?
Well, I wish he had, because quite possibly one of the greatest, most enduring entertainers of our childhood.
And he didn't do it he didn't ask for it to be done, but the communications department, I think at that college, put a plaque in next to the bathroom where he recorded what is it? It's not My Sharona. It's like
Another One Rides the
My
Bus.
Bologna was
My Bologna or something
the
like that.
Kinks or the Knack version.
Was
knockoff,
this for one thing that he sent to Dr. Demento?
Yeah.
Or? Okay.
that Mr. Show with the Dr. Demento character when he's got the doll head and his mom's trying to bring him tea and he's just like, get out of here.
I'm a sushi bar. A sushi bar machine. Well, I'm so glad you're sticking around for the next episode, Ben. Well, we're going to talk about a few things. We've got the tide will have turned.
Yeah.
Decepticons are going to skedaddle, and we're going to drop in on the hospice unit over at Autobot City.
The 23 skidoo on out of there.
Yeah, it gets rough when this. We're not to the really hard parts, but yeah, we start to get a little dark.
The music changes.
And that's how emotionally, that's how they let you know what you're supposed to be feeling.
Hey, but we'll get to it next week, everybody. So
For now, wham.
So please listen get your friends to hook in iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and tune in. Please follow us on our social media. We're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, all of them at APOD Decast, and we'd love it if you'd visit our web presence at autopoddecepticast.com. iTunes users, please rate and subscribe.
5 stars, please.
Bye!
Eat a dick.
Oh, I thought you were just going to plug something.
I didn't remember the nudity until Aaron reminded me this morning.
Yeah, you were very nude.
The nudist boy that's ever been.
For an extended period of time. And we were like worried. We were like, Wes is probably gonna. This is probably
the end.
The end. Aaron was talking that, and I was like, no. If West is gonna do anything, she's gonna tell him. Like, if it really is an issue, she's gonna say, "Put your goddamn clothes back on."
Yeah, she's not as shy.
No, so I wasn't worried about it, but Aaron was like, "I think this is it," because he was wasted too. He's like, "This is probably this."
It's happening.
Yeah,
I'm seeing it happen.
I was like, she's fine. And
honestly, it was funny how just chill you were. You're just like, whatever.
I was like, she's fine. If she's got a serious issue with it, she will tell him. She's not gonna be like sitting there like.
Even in the moment, she wasn't like, Ryan, put your goddamn clothes back on or anything. You just kind of.
It would be weird if you didn't say anything, we're nice all night, and then we never see her ever again. He's like, you should have, yeah. Like, wow, well.
And then it's just like, it's because you got nude.
Yeah, right. Like that's an unusual.
I mean, the fact that she's dating me, like, she knows what's up.
Yeah.
Well, that's he's been naked around us before, but that one was extensive.
That's true. I haven't done it in a while. And that's what I was telling her. I was like, oh, I hope it didn't get to like a weird aggressive point where I'm like, it's threatening now.
No.
Oh, I thought you were just going to plug something.
Yeah.
Just dick eating.
Dick eating.
I'm gonna plug you.
With my dick.
With my dick.
This pen is my penis.
Yeah, I was gonna tell all the contest losers to eat a bag of dicks.
They can check me out though on tpformybunghole.com, where I travel to my friends' houses and rate the toilet paper that they have. Especially
we should have asked.
Especially if it's improperly hung up with the
underhand.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the worst.
Okay,
what kind of monster?
Let's start it over. Let's start it
But
over.
it's not a real thing.
Do you have any plugs, Ben?
No, it's not a real thing. I'm brainstorming this.
Okay.
I'm
It
shopping
could be by
it
the
around.
time this comes out.
I'm shopping this around to your audience, the people I truly care
No,
about.
see, now you have to get that domain because somebody's gonna steal this idea.
Damn it. Look, guys, I'm just trying to bring you value-added content that'll get you over the paywall, okay?
VAD. Oh, nope. That's not the initials. VAC.
That's the VD, which Caleb's going to give me when he plugs me later on.
That's right, and I do have syphilis, so that's why I'm going insane and can't talk.
Hey, Ryan.
Sorry, honey.
It's called Syphil Us. We're in this together.
It's not syphil you.
Not
It's
syphil
syphil
me.
us.
Bye.
Let's end. This podcast must end.
AIDS.
All right.
I'm hitting stop right now.